If we haven't had the chance to meet yet, I am Jessica McCracken. I have the joy of being the voice of accountants here at Intuit. Internally, I get to introduce firms like you to our product teams to make sure that they are solving for you, your needs, and your clients' needs in our product. I have 3 special guests here, firm owners, financial leaders, storytellers, who are going to talk about what success looks like for them, their firms, their clients. Marlie, tell us a little bit about you.
I am Marlie Rumsey, and I am the Chief Business Officer for Western Companies. We are a multi-entity company. Underneath that, we have Western Truck and Trailer, Western Finance and Leasing, and Western Service Center.
Roz, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here. My name is Roz, and I own and operate an outsourced accounting and finance firm called Spark Partners. We service mostly the advertising and media businesses, and we're all called Sparklers.
Tailor.
I'm Tailor Hartman. I'm CEO and founder of Celerity Accounting. My firm focuses on mid-market companies. We do bookkeeping up to CFO level services for those companies, and we're based in Madison, Wisconsin.
Tailor, I'd love to hear a little bit more about your clients. What's a story of a client that came to you, they were struggling, needed help, and you were able to change their trajectory and give them solid guidance based on what they see in QuickBooks, what they see on the Intuit platform?
Yeah, so the client that comes to mind for me is a construction company that I have, and I think if you're an accountant watching this, you probably worked with a lot of construction companies, and they're not always the best with their cash flow. And this company specifically was paying off credit cards with credit cards. They had 12 different predatory loans, and they had no idea what was going on in their books. They were on QuickBooks, but they were transitioned. It was messy. So we got in there, and I'm happy to say after 2 years of cleaning the books up, connecting the bank feeds, connecting Jobber and some of their other third-party apps, we've been able to consolidate their loan into one loan, and they have positive cash flow, and they're running their business so much better these days. They're able to hire, make decisions, think about the future, not just survival. So I think we've used QuickBooks to really leverage the platform and give them the information they need to run their business.
Roz, tell me a little bit more about that survive to thrive shift. What's important to get a business into that thrive zone?
Clean chart of accounts, consistent data entry, proper use of custom fields, now dimensions, and then also flexibility in analysis, because every business is different. Even within the same industry, everything is different. So when you're doing the forecasting and the modeling, you have to set your 5 to 10 year plans. That way you're thinking about the direction, and the direction you're heading informs the 0 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 12 months. But it's insights, forecasting, analysis, but all of that is built on the foundation of clean data in, and having one place that is basically the source of truth, because that's where all your data lives, and you don't have to pull from 10 different spreadsheets, which is what we were doing for a while, maybe consolidating a previously disjointed process.
I was going to also say, like, AI is so popular right now, and having business owners using AI and asking about their financial data, but the data is not clean, is a huge risk. So having clean data is also something to think about with AI and the new technology that's out there.
And it especially depends on the business acumen. If you have somebody who's run other businesses before, they know the process of books closing. If your cadence is monthly versus quarterly, and when can you look on a cash or accrual basis. If you give enough caveats, fine, go in. I can trust.
How are you talking to your clients about AI, Tailor?
It's going to make us more efficient, yes. But we're going to use that efficiency to focus on advisory and focus on partnering with you. And we're packaging as much value with those clients in as we can. So it's not just going like we're getting more and more and more efficient. We're using the efficiencies to build on our relationship with the client.
And I know, Marlie, you've talked about the speed to decision-making being important, especially for your president, for your company. Is AI playing a part in that, or what is the role of technology in your decision-making?
Our president is huge on AI. When he was just at Intuit Connect and it was all released, I don't think I've seen him so engaged. We are excited. We're ready for it to roll, and we're ready to use it.
What are you excited for AI to do?
I'm excited for it to take over more of our day-to-day jobs so that we can focus on the bigger tasks.
I can do a brain dump and can write something nice and clean, but it's so much faster to have AI do it. And then also it will learn and it will pull trends in, or it will know what assumptions to kind of look for in the drivers.
Is that something that you have AI doing like in your client interactions?
So what I have my team doing actually is like, oh, we can run up against this wall with a client thing that we're doing for the client. It might be a third-party app in QuickBooks, or it might be, some weird accounting situation. And I'll be like, just run it through, an AI and ask it what you should do and see if there's something that we don't know. It's like we would Google it 5 years ago. This is a more efficient way of doing that.
Do you think that there are tools, AI tools on the Intuit platform maybe that help you make a client decision faster than you used to? Marlie, I know decision making is super important in client services, and you said you guys have the phone ringing off the hook some days.
Always.
How does that look like with Fast Insights?
I have to have the data for them quick. So having precise reports like we do in QuickBooks, and like Roz said, having our data in there correctly gives me the opportunity to pull the reports, have them accurate. Okay, here you go. Here's your data. Yes, we can make that happen.
Are you waiting for like the month close and quarter close to make those? Do you have to kind of mid-month make pivots and changes?
We're making pivots and changes all the time. So it is key that our data is in there correctly all month long, every day. We have the matching happening so that at the drop of a hat, I can make decisions. So it's always happening, always changing.
Yeah, I think being someone that loves to try out new apps and technology, I have used probably hundreds of different apps, and it really stresses the team out to introduce a new app every other week.
I just learned that a couple weeks ago.
And Roz, you have such a passion for clean data. Do you think less subscriptions gets you to cleaner data? Do you think there's a bifurcation that you're looking for?
I think by nature, fewer subscriptions, fewer places to enter or interpret lead to cleaner data. Yeah. It's just so much nicer when you can have everything sitting in one. And then when everybody's on, so we just moved the first batch of clients into IES. You flip a switch, and then all of a sudden, boom, you have all of the things. Once we turned it on, we did not have to change our workflow at all.
Roz, you talked about how easy it was to get the first client on to Enterprise Suite coming from QuickBooks. What do you think are the triggers that let you know, like, hey, maybe it's time to move a client up either to QuickBooks Online Advanced or to Enterprise Suite?
More users, more classes, more chart of accounts. If you don't want to pay for a separate bill paying service, and if you don't want to pay for a consolidation app, then move. So now you can run the balance sheet and P&L through multi-entity, just for a certain entity, for the entire reporting group. And now, in the latest launch that I just checked, you can actually click into the amounts, the reports. You can drill down into the reports when you're in consolidated view.
And I know you've had one client on Enterprise Suite for a while, and coming out of our last event, you sent us several more. What was the trigger for, hey, it's time to make the move. I'm confident this is the direction I want to go?
First of all, the bill pay function, whether we're manually releasing ACHs or wires from the bank account and then, paying whatever fees, even the time, or if it's based on authentication, user permissionings, reaching out to several different people to get the payment actually released. Now it's all in one with approval workflows, all of that. And also the other thing is pretty confident in where IES is going. I want everything in there because I also want all of our clients to follow the same dimension rules all across the board. I want everybody to have the same dimensions, same custom reporting, same capabilities. Then we can streamline everything. And then once you have clean, streamlined project accounting, corporate accounting, FP&A and modeling and strategy becomes so much easier.
Tailor, I know you've had a chance to work really closely with our product teams for our Enterprise Suite. What has you excited about Dimensions?
I think with Enterprise Suite, having more flexibility with dimensions and custom fields and, hopefully more things in the future, which I'm also excited about. I think As an enterprise level, companies need more flexibility to build data in their way. And that's what having more accessibility for dimensions, custom fields, that's what it really does for us. So it helps us give our clients better data and more tailored data for them.
When we were at Intuit Connect, I think I spent 30 minutes looking at the dimensions demo, and I was like, oh my goodness, my mind is blown. This is amazing. I'm a visual learner, so I like seeing the use cases, but the reporting that comes out of it.
There's so many more options for reporting. Like if there's a P&L with a chart of accounts, right? And it's like, okay, I want to see by location. Sure, that's one way to look at something, but then you might want to see by group, but they might do groups by location, and it might be on top of locations. So
I know, it's like the multi-stack, and then there's so much more flexibility with the hierarchies and the subs.
I think it's a challenge to build that for us, but also keep it simple, because it's like it can go crazy and get so messy, right?
Taylor, let's cast our vision forward for a few minutes. We have Intuit Intelligence coming, which will allow you to vibe code, or for those who aren't super familiar with it, use a conversational behavior to build actual code. What is it that you think you'll be able to unlock for your clients, and where will something like vibe coding and Intuit Intelligence change the experience of how they interact with the Intuit products and how you interact with them?
This gets me so excited thinking about the potential here, because my biggest issue with QuickBooks for the last probably decade is how rigid it is. And I think having the ability to build something custom with a chatbot or whatever format it's in, vibe coding, to build my clients exactly what they need to see on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, I think is so powerful. And they're going to be able to make decisions immediately based on that data. Like I build the systems that flow into those dashboards and make sure the systems are giving us the good data. But I think being able to build a dashboard without any limitations is the future, and I'm excited for it.
Marlie, I'd love to hear more about your business's success and journey. I know the last 3 years have been big years for you.
Yeah. Our owner bought the company 4 years ago. It was a 45-year-old company before that. And over the last 3 years, he has grown it 10% over all of the entities.
How are you going to keep up on the admin side with all of that growth? Like that sounds like a lot. And you have a small team, right?
We do. We have such a small team. We like to keep things slim. Everybody wears multiple hats. I think eventually we'll have to hire more personnel. But at this point right now, we have 52 employees. And we only have 3 people in our accounting, which includes our outside accountant, me, and 1 ARAP. We didn't even have a rental fleet last October. Absolutely.
So you
done.
started the fleet. Is that a new entity?
So we always had Western Finance and Leasing, but they did more leasing. We've never had a rental fleet. And last October, we put our first trailer in the rental fleet. And the accountant in me were like, okay, let's go slow. Let's go slow.
Methodical.
Our owner does not know slow. It's like, whew, full speed ahead. And here we are, 68 trailers in. And he's like, okay, we're going to hit 200.
How did you build the systems for that?
Everything right now is in QuickBooks, but we did spreadsheets. We tracked all of our invoicing, everything like that. Yeah, it was wild.
Roz, tell us about one of your clients. I know you have such passion for bringing together your creative talents with the accounting. What has been a client journey that you've been a part of that just you reflect on at the end of the day?
There is one that is a production company, creative studio, also dabbles in post-production as well. So that has been such an amazing journey. Sometimes I can't even think about, or I mean, don't even have the words to describe how monumental the parallel growth path has been. They weren't my first client. I had a smaller bookkeeping client, and I've grown with them as well. This other client was one of our anchor clients, and we've since expanded. The growth has been confidence, resilience, strategy, 5 to 10 year goals, direction. What kind of legacy do you want? What kind of exit plan do you want? Starting with that high level overview and the direction, and having that inform how do we execute on the next 1 to 2 years? What do we need to do to achieve our goals? And the nice thing is I moved them into QuickBooks Advanced in maybe 2021. And it was complex. We needed to do GAAP accounting, so revenue recognition. So then I built those giant spreadsheets that are way too difficult for anybody else to use. But in all of that, before we moved them on, I learned QuickBooks for some of our other clients. That prepared me to then move them on. Moving them from a construction software into QuickBooks Online Advanced was a humongous undertaking, but it somehow sparked this fire inside of me that loves APIs and platforms and how systems are architected, scaling from a single entity, single service line to multi-entity, international, multi-service line. It's the growth and the up-leveling. And QuickBooks has been there since day one, and it is the vehicle or the wave or the canvas that has allowed us to express ourselves. The transactions are the foundation, but now we get to put everything else on top of that and is help us to up level.
You've gotten to be a part of several of our product teams over the last year and a half. What has you excited about the innovations coming in dashboards and reporting?
We've gone full circle on reporting. I feel like we were in a good place a couple of years ago, but it was basic and it didn't leave a lot of room for dimensional reporting and stuff like that. It was bare bones, but we loved it because it was comfortable for us. And then we moved to modern reports, and it gives a ton of flexibility, almost too much flexibility. At Intuit Partner Council, I've seen what they're developing, and they're building something that's in between the old, beautiful, comfortable reporting.
Like a hybrid of modern and classic.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
It's just reports.
It's just reports.
I'm a report nerd. I love that.
It's not old, it's not new, it's just reports.
Just reports.
I like it.
What, for the vibe coding, you can just, ask it a question and then, what is it?
What I have seen is you get a lot of flexibility for the modules that you can put on the dashboard, and they're still kind of working that out. But I think, yes, it will suggest KPIs specific to industry, and you're able to just auto create a dashboard using those KPIs and using that data. I think it could also probably look at historical data and pick out things that it's a huge rabbit hole, but I think, yeah, it should suggest what you should be looking for, and then you can tweak it for your individual clients, right? Because they're you might have a client that just hates paying bills and they never want to see it, and it triggers them every time. Okay, I don't want to show them AP. I just want to show them their sales. And yeah, they need to talk about AP. We'll talk about it on Fridays. We don't have to see that all the time.
Money movement is one of those things that can be a time suck on both sides. A lot of people don't feel great about it, but Taylor, I know you've done a lot with our payments agents and how you use that for AR. Tell us more about that.
Intuit Intelligence and the payments agent, they kind of work together a little bit, because we'll send out invoices for a client. We'll send them every day or weekly or whatever, and then they come due, right? And then there's usually a process that's a manual process or a workflow that will notify the customer that they're past due. With the AR agent and Intuit Intelligence, it just will batch them and be like, hey, I noticed these are all past due. Do you want to send a reminder out? And I'm just say yes. Or it's hey, do you want to send statements? It seems like it's a good time to send statements. And it's just there. And it every time it does that, it saves me 15 to 20 minutes for every client. So it's I would have to send 10 different emails or reach out 10 different ways or set up a workflow, but it just automatically does it.
AR follow-ups are so time consuming.
They're so time consuming.
There's emotion involved too, because you're I'm kind of being mean.
Mm-hmm.
And but you want to be a little bit pushy, hey, you got to pay this, you're past due. So there's a lot of nuance with it that I think is super cool, that you can adjust the tone of the AI with the messages as well.
Oh yeah. And it'll learn too.
It should, yeah.
Learn your tone, so you can, all right, I need it to be a little bit firmer, or I need it to be a little bit more relaxed.
Can you imagine your worst customer? Extra firm, nonstop. I know this customer's tough. Let's just go extra firm.
I love
do you
that.
have the agent craft those messages for you? And do you let the agent know when it needs to be extra firm versus more buoyant?
Yeah. So when we're drafting, even on the original email where we send the invoice, you can adjust the tone right in there when you send the email, and the AI will update it for you. I think it would be in a perfect world someday, I think it would be cool to be able to give it the full context of our customers. Be like, hey, these are tough. Can you always do this tone? And like going forward, and then like, oh, that was maybe just a little bit too spicy. Let's take it back a notch, and just be able to tweak it like a human being, right? Like an intern.
Sounds like it helps tie into the firm's workflows. And Roz, I've heard workflows from you several times and your eyes light up when we say workflows.
Nerd alert.
Is there anything that's come out recently from a workflow perspective that you're like, yeah, that's the thing I'm training my team to do?
The intercompany allocations, intercompany AP, intercompany sales, cost of goods sold, eliminations. The other thing that we've been doing is shifting into bill pay. So we've shifted some of our startups and smaller businesses into the bill pay ecosystem. And one of our multi-entity groups, I guess, currently it is almost 10 bank accounts, manually setting up ACHs. We have a system and our team is amazing. And one of our superstars, Chris, was able to expedite the payment process. Instead of manually setting things up, now we're going to start the process of moving everything into bill pay, so then we can just do it on one platform and capitalize on the specific user roles. And it'll save us so much time.
And we all need time back.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you all for joining us today. I hope you all have enjoyed hearing stories of success, growth, and how these firms are powering their firm and their client success on the Intuit platform. I got to hear the passion of how they support clients and the way they're championing small business and mid-market success.